Perfect. Okay. So we have been traveling across the state, teaching people and educating people on holistic wellness and health, and taking control of their own lives. And I'm just so thankful to have my best friend as my business partner. So Jenny, tell a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a huge outpouring of people wanting to register for this, which makes us feel so excited because we absolutely love what we do, and we're just starting. So this is kind of the first workshop I think that we will do of many. My name is Jenny Dangerfield. I do live here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm actually from North Florida, from Pensacola, if anyone is familiar with that area. It is absolutely gorgeous. You can see in my picture there, that's the background of Pensacola Beach. I have two small children. They're about the same age as Colette's kids, so we're so fortunate to be able to raise them together. And yeah, that's a passion of mine as well, is Colette and I really share this passion for teaching our children about holistic wellness and the body, and how we are all divine beings with everything inside of us that we need to heal our own bodies. In today's world, that is a little bit more difficult with all of the toxins that we are even in the air that we breathe and what we're ingesting in our food. So we are so fortunate to have all of these different modalities to support ourselves on a holistic healing journey. And yeah, I'm excited for what our generations have to come with all of these different modalities. And I feel like this, spiritual awakening that we are experiencing right now, and creating coherence and raising the vibration of the human collective. So yeah, that is what we are doing here today. Shall we get started?
Let's do it. And also, just so everyone knows, please, if there's any questions that you have, put them in the chat. And at the end, we will open it up and we'll answer questions. People can ask us, we'll do the best to answer as we can. But we're just going to go through the slides, and we will be doing a live demonstration of what the aura is afterwards too. So yes. Thank you so much. Let's go.
Okay. And please feel free to do little screenshots or take notes. Later, when we do the live demo, some of your notes may be really nice for you to follow along and to help understand the demonstration.
Awesome. So, okay, well, let's start. So what is an aura? The aura is the human aura is made up of electromagnetic particles that radiate from the body. It holds all the positive and negative information from our past, our present, and our near future.
Okay, so it is our life force energy. From this energy, the quantum sensor within the device that we'll be showing you can pick up on everything about us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, because our aura reflects our ever-changing moods as well as our physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Okay.
Yeah, super exciting. So there are different layers of our aura. There are 7. And so this is just a basic talk about it. So the etheric layer is the governing our physical sensations. The emotional layer is governing our personal feelings. The mental layer is governing our thought patterns. And the astral layer is governing our unconditional emotions. It's a bridge between the physical and spiritual layers. And then it goes on to the spiritual layer, which governs our ethic template and our higher will. And our celestial layer, which governs our emotional template and our higher feelings. And then we have the causal layer, which is the connection of our spiritual path and our universal energy.
Okay, now we know there are so many things about the aura, right? We're touching on the basics of these layers and how they pertain to the chakras and that kind of thing. So this is very basic. I know we have a lot of yogis in here, or people who are more advanced with auras. We're not going into, the thousands of chakras throughout the entire body. We're going to focus on the main chakras, and we're not going to go into all the nadis and things like that. So bear with us if you are a little bit more advanced. I hope you find some really, really good information out of this as well.
And another thing, before we continue on to the layers here, so auras have been recorded and spoke about from like the beginning of time. It spoke about it a lot within the Bible of, and angelic halos. So it's portrayed in pictures. It's done, they speak about it in Egyptian and Greek mythology. And one of the, and then it's been over time, they found ways to record the aura, like through pictures of like the Kirlian technology and photos. And the person who was the first person to get this image was actually Nikola Tesla back in 1891. But unlike a lot of Tesla's work, it was ignored until, this awesome day and age where we are, because of technology and the internet. Things can't be suppressed as they were back in the early late 1800s and early 1900s. So the first layer that we have is the physical and etheric bodies, like the physical sensations. This is the densest of the subtle energy fields and is our electromagnetic body. It exists within us and around every cell and stores our vitality. It stretches about 3 to 5 inches around the physical body and is associated with the base and sacral chakras. Okay. Did you have anything you wanted to say to these? You're good?
The etheric body, the physical, this comes back to when you say dense layer. So this is where you're going to find those traumas that manifest into our life, into the physical form. This is where we think of ourselves and our cells. So this body is kind of your existence when you're thinking of yourself as mass, right? And as matter. So yeah, this is where we're at in the physical etheric body.
And then layer 2 is the emotional body, which is the governing of our personal feelings. The emotional layer is part of both the etheric layer and the lower astral layer, and is connected to our personal feelings and the sacral and solar plexus chakras. It extends about 6 to 9 inches from the body. It's associated with the feelings about the self and those desires that would master us if we didn't control them. All the chakras except the crown and the root open to this level, which carries our karma and our past life memories. It's most commonly associated with the solar plexus chakra. And then layer 3 is the mental body, which is our thought patterns. This part of the lower astral layer lies about 9 to 12 inches from the body. It's concerned with our rational and mental activity, which is constantly changing. Negative thought forms attracting negatively, while positive thought forms attract positive influences in our life, like our words, anything that we have to say, all of that is reflecting our auras. This layer holds all we have learned in our lifetime. Our thoughts have a direct relationship to how we feel. So this layer is associated with both the solar plexus and the throat chakra.
Beautiful.
Now, it's very important, to be conscious of the way you think about yourself, the words you speak. I mean, all of that is affecting you from the aura. And, it plays in the mental mind a lot. So the next layer is the layer 4, the astral body, which is governing the unconditional emotions. It's a bridge between the spiritual and physical layers, and it extends about 12 inches from the body, and it connects to the heart chakra. It's associated with love and acts as a bridge between the lower chakras, connecting us to this physical life and the higher chakras of our spiritual being. This is where the intuitive activity takes place. A great deal of subconscious interaction also takes place on this level, where there is no division between the soul and personality.
Okay.
And yeah. Layer 5 is the spiritual body. It governs our ethic template and our higher will. And it extends about 2 to 3 feet from the physical body. And it relates to the interaction of the personality, the soul, and the divine will. This level is associated with learning to trust. So it's the level we tune into when we like someone or when we dislike them, or when we feel something is wrong. And so, touching into that, that's like when someone enters a room, you can sense that straight away. Animals, dogs, horses, they sense this straight away. They have that ability. As adults, we have been programmed and have all of these things we've been taught that restricts us to really move past some of these feelings, how unlike dogs or children who don't have those, and they are more pure, I guess is a better way to say it. I like you too. Our personality is a combination of all of our life's patterns, both learned from the experiences and those inherited from our DNA. This level reflects our everyday emotional and mental state. It is connected to the brow and sacral chakra, as well as the throat. Layer 6 is the celestial body. And so it governs the template of our higher feelings. Feelings, I says. Feelings, guys. This level is more subtle than others, and it relates to the finer feelings and our divine qualities, such as unconditional love, compassion, courage, and higher aspirations. It's the plane of meditation rather than the thought, and the contemplation rather than analysis. It extends farther from the body, so it can reach as far as 5 feet. It's the level at which we connect with energies from other dimensions, such as those who have died and our spirit guides. It's the level of inspiration and the template of feelings of the self. The self is nourished at this level by the beauty of nature, music, art, meditation, and prayer. And so we need to appreciate others, honor and respect them, and feel grateful to them if we are able to attain this level of consciousness. And it connects at the brow and the crown chakra. Okay, and so the layer 7, which is the last layer, is the causal body. It's connecting our spiritual path to the universal energies. This is the layer that connects the crown to the universal energy. So think about, shining bright up there. And at this layer, we can experience spiritual ecstasy. And at times we can feel our connection with the universe. This layer can extend far and wide. And when our consciousness reaches this level, we are at one with the creator. It's the strongest and most resilient layer, containing the main current that runs up our spine, nourishing the whole body. This is the layer of pure creative thought. And at this level of consciousness, we understand the perfect pattern of things and become enlightened. This is the layer also that contains the astral data bank for our lifetime, which is commonly known as the soul purpose or life's purpose. It's connected to the crown, but also through the base chakra.
Yes, so as we're going through these layers, you can kind of get a picture for when Colette was mentioning of how we are introducing ourselves before we even open our mouths, right? So as divine beings, as all beings have auras and they give off energy. I like to think of this when I think of the layers as, this layer that goes out the furthest. This is what's introducing you, because we're all connected and we all want that spiritual connection. And as you get to know someone more, you get to know them on a more personal level. So the layers go in deeper, like when Colette and I are in a room, she doesn't have to say anything. And I know what she's thinking. I know what she's feeling. As soon as she walks in, I know exactly what's happening with her physically. So, as we find that tribe, we're connected by our frequencies, and we kind of join our friend groups, or even, becoming family. This is what I think happens as we get to know each other deeper and deeper. We get into those more penetrating layers, if that makes sense.
Definitely. I have like chicken skin right now, which is funny because some of the women that are on here, we were just all together in Orlando, and Rebecca, she's the beautiful woman on the beach right there. Every time Rebecca and I would chat, and if we resonated, both of us would get like chicken skin and goosebumps. And I think that that's just really cool when you do find that connection, that soul connection with the people that you're meant to be with.
Beautiful. Okay, auras relating to the chakras. All right, so the word chakra means wheel in Sanskrit. Chakras are spinning energy vortices, which are funnel shaped with the wider spinning end interacting with the auric field, while the stem is embedded in the spine. Okay, so again, we're focusing on the 7 main chakras that run down the center of the body, because this is what, these 7 main chakras in our spine is connected to everything within the body. So that's going to go into, meridians in a little bit, but all of it is connected. All of our organs, you can find connection within the spine. All of those are attached to different emotions. So every layer of our being can be, attached to these 7 main chakra points. We don't just sit around thinking about our organs, glands, and joints and how they're all working together. We just expect that, they're going to do what they're supposed to do. And that is the magic of the energy of our bodies. So this is kind of where we're going to get into. The 7 main chakras run down the center of the body, roughly aligning with the spine, and they're interconnected with all the 7 layers of the aura, operating in both the etheric and astral fields. They're often associated with different colors as they interact with the aura, influencing its colors. If your chakras are balanced and functioning efficiently, we're happy and healthy, and our auras are bright. If they are not, then we feel dull, fatigued, lethargic, frustrated, depressed, angry, and so on. Our auras will reflect this.
And, we naturally assume that it's our bodies that create the energy field of our aura, but it's the other way around, because we are, after all, spiritual beings that have this human bodysuit. And so the healthier we are physically, the more universal energy flows effortlessly through us, creating harmony and balance in our lives. This energy connects us through the base chakras. Our auras and our chakras are linked. They share information by passing the energies back and forth between them. Other people also influence our energies, like we said, and it also reflects our auras. And so thinking of the chakras working with the auras, so they funnel like from the inside out, and so they shoot in and out, and they go from both front to back of our bodies as well.
Okay, chakras are like step-down transformers that convert subtle energy that's used by the hormone, nervous, and cellular systems of our physical bodies. We fuel our physical bodies with air, food, and water, but the chakras also take in subtle energy around us. This subtle energy is carried by our meridian systems that connects the chakras also within our physical bodies to our auras and the energy fields surrounding all of us. These major energy centers are concerned with certain areas of life relating to our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual states. Each one governs an aspect of the physical body in association with our endocrine glands and governs the etheric body via the nervous system.
And this probably sounds a bit complicated. So let me break it down for you a bit easier. So think of your meridians as the super highways, the highways of your body, and then your chakras as traffic circles or intersections. And so then, when the energy comes in and moves around and it flows out, with roads and traffic circles and intersections can be small or large depending on the amount of traffic. And in the same time, it's true, like for the meridian system. Sometimes the energy flows freely, but other times it can get caught and stuck, just like traffic or because of an accident or like road work. If we get into an accident, even just a simple cut, what do? We clean it, we take care of it, put a bandage on it, and in time it heals. But a bad cut might leave a scar and for the physical body. And if it's a serious accident, the body will carry a physical scar, but it also will carry an emotional and mental scars that don't always quite heal. So the traumas, we spoke about traumas before, the traumas that we suffered during our lives are basically like the traffic accidents. So causing this, the same blockage, like causing the blockages within your meridians, to not allow the energy to flow freely. And so we become lethargic or ill. Maybe it might be manifesting in a pain within your body. This was my personal experience. This is kind of how I got into energy. I had had quite a bit of a traumatic upbringing childhood, and it affected me. And I had someone educate me about how traumas can manifest within the body. And so I was living in chronic pain after I had my son. And then as I started to educate myself, it kind of made sense that most of my traumas stem from my biological mother. And so once I became a mom, those manifestations started to show up as physical pain. But as you start to develop spirituality and you start to identify and heal those traumas and negative patterns, the chakras and the auras vibrate. They vibrate higher, and it can be seen, and the chakras are change your colors as well. So as you grow, as you enlighten yourself, you'll vibrate higher, and other people are going to notice, and they'll radiate, and they'll be attracted to you.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay, so I spoke about the chakras and the colors, so we're talking about the main 7 of them, but every color has a vibration, a frequency. And so some of them have meaning, and I put some of the basic ones here, but I mean, every color has an explanation. So I have to get a little close to read it. So sorry. So red is often an indication of inflammation, whether it be inflamed mood or an actual infection within the body. Yellow is a person's intellect or curiosity, and how, as well as how emotional they may be. Blue can indicate a person is a good communicator. Black indicates health challenges or unreleased grief, emotional or mental, spiritual blockages. White indicates enlightenment, meditation, spiritual qualities, or spiritual guide is close by. Orange governs sexuality, fertility, self-expression, imagination, creativity, and growth. Primary green, it's normally like a healing color for calm, balance, nurturing, tranquility, and teaching. It can also represent jealousy, though, and envy, smothering, and being overly responsible. Turquoise is associated with communication and inner truth. It's expansive, expressive, avant-garde, and it's risk-taking. It's associated with networking, travel, freedom, and restlessness. And indigo is associated with the intuition, spirituality, psychic awareness. They can be intense, idealistic, deep thinking with the deep feelings, and also reserved and lonely with the tendency to be rigid on their thinking. And then violet indicates those who have few boundaries. And so why is it important to understand these colors? So when Jenny does her aura scan, it will tell her what chakra color it actually should be, but it'll also be telling her exactly where it is. So you can go to the next slide, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what we're going to be doing is a little bit further analysis. Like Colette had mentioned earlier, people have been working with auras for a very long time. Before, you had to actually go to someone who was a little bit more of what people would call a psychic, or that somebody could read your aura. But now we have all this amazing technology. Back in the 30s is when they actually started producing photographic images of the light emanating from our bodies. There's Carillion technology, which you might have heard of. So there's a lot of things like that we have access to today. What we're going to be demonstrating with you is this device. It's a wearable frequency device, and inside it has a quantum sensor that stays in touch with our energy field. and it has the capability to scan your aura, and it gives you all of this information of where your blockages are. So we'll go into a little bit more about that, but this is Healy. It's a wearable microcurrent medical device that has been cleared by the US FDA for local relief of acute and chronic and arthritis pain, also muscle soreness due to overexertion. But it also has lots of non-medical applications that utilizes IMF, individual microcurrent frequencies, to analyze your body and to create balance. It has over 9 million frequencies, and it has the capability to find out exactly what you need in real time. So you can scan yourself to find resonant frequencies, personal or business coaching modules, and the Aura module, which is what we will be going into. So with the Aura, what we're going to be doing is it's not going to scan us physically, but like we have been talking about, those layers of the auras, they give off specific frequencies, and you are vibrating. Everyone has a signature that they vibrate at. It's like your fingerprint. And so that is what we are picking up on with this device. So it is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to show you. I did write a little bit more here, or Colette did, pertaining to what it's actually reading. So again, we're working within our bioenergetic field of what is emanating out of our bodies and the information that we hold.
You know, so when I was younger, I used to think I could see angels, and I never, like, I didn't like tell my parents because they wouldn't have believed me. And so this would always happen when we were at church. And a lot of the times it would be when I would like be watching the worship people singing or the pastor, and I would see this glow around them. And I'm trying, you know, and I didn't put this into relation until about a year ago. And now I'm like, oh, that makes more sense, because like I said, you know, the children don't have that blockages. And so have I always had this ability, right? And so now I get to come back to this and I get to embrace that. And I think it's really cool. And I hope that, you know, as I continue to grow and remove the layers of programming from my upbringing, that I will be able to then, you know, become more enlightened and in touch, and hopefully I will be able to see these auras again. So I don't know if people have tried to see auras. So go ahead and put that in the chat if you have or not.
Yes, please let us know in the chat. And again, if you have any questions, you know, feel free to pop them in the chat. We're going to mostly address them at the end after we do the demonstration, but please keep note of your questions.
And so this is just a little breakdown of what it's going to look like. So the Healy is app-based, which is great. So we're all connected to these things all the time. So you can balance your aura any time of the day and find out what's going on. So when we look at this aura report that's going to come out, it's going to have a percentage. And what the Healy is doing, it is finding exactly what Jenny is needing to bring to balance. So the higher the percentage is, the more actions that are needed to bring to balance for her.
Okay, yep. And this intensity here, you're going to see a second number here, and that's the intensity. It's between 1 and 10. So this is going to relate to how much I'm actually aware of what's going on. So 1, the lower the number means that I've probably already done some work in this area. So it's not really presented in my everyday life, right? The higher the number, the higher that number gets to 10, that means that that I'm probably not so aware of it, or I'm kind of refusing to do the work, and I probably need to address it a little bit more. And it's probably something that I am dealing with on a day-to-day basis that probably is making me very upset, and I have no idea why. Okay, and so I think Colette's going to talk about the dosage.
So the dosages, they relate to like homeopathics. And so they'll be represented as a D, C, L, M. Sometimes they might be together when we look at her results. So D is working with the physical issues that are manifesting. C is more an emotional mental state. And then LM is based off of your mental spiritual issues, off of the erroneous belief systems.
Yep. And there are so much information that we will see When I do my scan, it's going to come up with a lot of crazy information, and we'll go over that as much detail as we can, but it won't show everything. So if you do have a Healy and you use it, the more you use it, the more you will see that we didn't cover, but yeah, we'll go over what we can.
So the next slide Jenny's going to show you is a chart that we use to help break down, to understand where these blockages are coming from.
Right. So we have, you can see over here, if everybody can see my arrow, I think you can. So you'll see it'll come up and it'll say whether it is coming through physically or emotionally or spiritually, but then will also maybe give you these numbers of where that actually is coming from. So we have things that are passed down generationally, generational patterns that I feel like you hear so many people talking about, oh, breaking generational patterns, right? Well, this is where that happens. And this is the information that you can see. This is why when we were talking about one of the layers and relating to the emotional bodies and how important our thoughts are, we are creating over 100,000 cells per second, right? And so those cells are being really told what to do by our emotions and our thoughts. So things like these that are that we really need to work on is something to help you gain more clarity. And again, this is all just information, so we're going to stay very, very curious and open to whatever it says. Because, and I'll probably say this a couple of times, but we are the only ones who put any kind of positive or negative connotation on information, right? So no other living being does that except for humans. So, keep that in mind, because information doesn't necessarily mean something is negative. So let's move on. If anybody has any questions, please pop them in the chat.
Jenny is going to get her Healy all set up. And while she does that, if I think I saw a question up here. Yeah, it's Sandra. Yeah, I was actually trying to do the hand today. I've been like reading the different ways that you can look for your aura. And, so I was trying to like look past my hand to see if it comes up, but I definitely want to keep, working on that and, seeing if it will show up and how I can start to read auras. And the slides that are created, I've made these through Canva app. But like we said, you guys can screenshot these. And at the end as well, everyone that's registered, we're going to email you guys a really beautiful breakdown too, because I believe most of us here are Healy users. So we'll give you like a really beautiful cheat sheet that you guys can take, to help you understand your aura, to help you, be able to facilitate aura readings for your friends, families, clients, however. And so let's see, I have some other things here. The difference between D1 and D60. I will have to pull the chart back up. Just give me 1 second here. I think I'm gonna do it this way. Let's open your eyes in a dark room. Okay, let me get that chart back up 1 second. While Jenny is getting herself together. Get here. How you going, Jenny?
Okay, I'm ready. Let me see if I can share my screen here.
Yeah, definitely read it. It says you can sense the aura and colors. And so one of the things I've been reading about, this is why how, in Western world, we associate our colors, like grass is green, battleship gray, but people that are blind, they can actually, they can sense the energy, the colors, the frequency of the color. This is very true. So thank you for putting that in the chat.
Okay, can everyone see my screen where it says the picture? It says I have a Healy. Can you see that right here?
Mhm.
We're good? Okay. So I'm going to turn my Healy on.
I'm going to.
I'm just going to do a demo. So.
And then as we break down this or report for Jenny, I will go back through, and, from the information that we just spoke on, help you guys understand and break it down further. So the Healy is a Bluetooth wearable device. And so right now she's connecting it to the device. And you have to create yourself a client, or you make yourself a client on your smartphone. And the Healy, like we said, has the quantum sensor. So Jenny has already been able to, what's going on? Jenny has already created herself a client and recorded her own personal frequency, like your digital fingerprint. We all have these. So this is what she has done. So we're going to skip that step and just really go right into the aura analysis. You see here, there's a resonance analysis. That's more of like physical, the 9 million frequencies where we could put it into a program, but we're going to do the aura analysis now.
Uh-oh. You're going to see everything because I couldn't.
You haven't? Oh, okay.
I couldn't do this one in demo mode. Sorry.
That's okay. No worries. So what Jenny's going to do right now. So this is how you make a client. You're going to, and this is where the intention starts immediately too. So when we host events and we do this with people, we know they're like, oh, do we have to put all this information in? And we say yes, because it's the intention. It's our thoughts. This is the frequency of what is affecting our auras. So she's putting in her birth date, where she was born. For this, we're not going to put in her email or her address. Just this first top bit. She'll take a picture of herself where that little person is, and smile pretty for the camera. Oh, that's my messy house. Turn it around. And Jenny's at my house right now. So, oh my gosh. So she'll take her picture, use that, and then she will go here and record the vibration. So she'll hold her intention to allow the Healy to record her personal vibration. There it is. That's her frequency being recorded right now. And now she's ready. She can go in and save herself as a client and start her analysis.
Okay, so I'm going to record the aura. Now this initial recording is just picking up again, we're reading the 7 main chakra points. And this initial analysis is reading me like a battery. It's reading my chakras as if seeing how much energy is being produced by each chakra, right? So this is my little beautiful interpretation here. And I'll go into the analysis. Okay, so now you can see it automatically checks the lowest 3. So this is out of 100. You can see on the side here, you see my little arrow. Okay, you can see on the side here, the total 78 out of 100. So we want all of these to be all the way at the top, reading out of 100. That means that I have the most energy coming out of my chakra. All right. I mean, you can see 98. I have some 96 over here. That's still relatively high. I mean, even in the 80s, but there are some blockages. There is some information. There's reasons that I'm out of balance in these areas. Okay. So this is what it's reading. It's kind of the balance of our energy. So it automatically has checked the forehead, which is my lowest at 62, and it's checked the throat and the root. Now you're going to get, you can unselect these. You can only do one if you're trying to work within one area. You can check all of them, but it is a lot of information that you get out of each one. So just for times, we'll just go ahead and leave the 3. Okay. And so now when I hit this start analysis down here at the bottom, now it's going to select just these 3. And it's going to go in and actually pull out the information of why it's not reading.
Jenny. They can't see the screen sharing. I can see it. Can anyone else not see it? Jackie? Anyway, I can see her sharing the screen.
Can anyone else?
Oh, yeah, Rebecca see it. Okay. All right. Sorry, continue.
Sorry, Jackie, maybe move something around on your screen and see if it, okay, you can now. Okay, good.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going. All right, so now we've got the 3 that I selected, and it's going to pull the information from just those 3. Now, when I hit this analysis button of why it's not reading at 100. So it's going to give me all the information of that. So now it's connecting to my bioenergetic field now. All right.
Okay. So like we said, the top number we're going to read first is the 89%. So that's the highest. It's not too high, Jenny. That's all right. 89%. And so we want to lower that first one. 6, like we said, between numbers 1 to 10, 10 being that it is showing up more consistently in her daily life. So 6, yeah, it's kind of showing up. And here we have the LM, which is the mental spiritual bodies. And then the, sorry, let me try to get my screen so I can read these notes. Mental spiritual. And so then next it says XV. So if I go back to the chart that we did. So what we have, LM and then XV, it says, Jenny, right?
Yeah, XV. So it's LM. So the karmic spiritual issues, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's like wrong acting from the spiritual level. So yep, this is her 5th chakra, her throat chakra, and it's coming from her ethereal body. And so if we go back to remember the ethereal, which Jenny, correct me if I'm wrong, that would be more the astral.
Yes.
Okay, so then we go back to the astral body. So this is the governing our emotions, the bridge between the spiritual layers. And this is the one that goes about 12 inches from her body.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that me?
Okay. Sorry, the chart. So the chart is, we'll go back to that afterwards, and that's what we're going to be emailing to you guys, because we're screen sharing on her phone. We can't show both right now.
Okay, and so it says the present state, due to fear of emotional extortion, the person cannot creatively use messages from the outside world. I mean, I have never seen this before. So this just shows you, and I do this quite a lot. So there's so much information that you can receive, and it gives me my present state description. So it's telling me, if you look up at the top, my throat chakra should be the color blue. And it's saying that my throat chakra is shining in the root sacral chakra, the color orange red. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I think Colette's gonna tell you a little bit about the colors.
Yeah, so I mean, the orange red, I mean, that would be more, I'm thinking like a coral color, is like what we could call that. And so it's representing like a community, like the spirit. So but again, we're wanting to transform that back into the blue. Mm-hmm.
And again, I know there's some people on here that have more advanced knowledge of the chakras and everything. Also, when I think, why does it keep doing that? Sorry. When I think of the color, when it says the root sacral chakra color red. So if it's going, so it should be my throat chakra, but it's actually coming from my root. So maybe that's something with like family, I mean, things that really kind of ground you within the root chakra. And we also have it. So then it gives you a desired state. Okay, so this says harmonization of the topics, communication, personal expression, following one's intuition, abundance, fluid manifestation of desires, and unconditional acceptance by strengthening the vibration color blue in the throat chakra. And then that last sentence there, it says, I feel safe and protected so that I am open to the messages of the world around me, which I am creatively using. So this is a little mantra that it's able to give you. So when I'm doing a meditation, I can, speak this out loud to myself, or when I'm vibrating these frequencies into my field, I can speak this out loud to try to create harmony within this area. And then the desired state description, throat chakra is shining in the throat color blue, and the themes of the throat chakra are further anchored. There is a deeper knowledge of the power of unconditional acceptance, and the responsibility of one's own topics is integrated. One's individuality is brought into the world through communication. So again, just giving you further mantra, something to focus on, to try to create harmony within this area.
Mm-hmm. So the next one is 86% 8. So it's showing up quite frequently in her daily life. And then D is a physical, and the 1E24, it's actually grandparents. So this is the information being passed down, like we said, from generations. It's hold within ourselves. And so, and this is the physical body. So that's your layer 1, the one that's about 3 to 5 inches. And so it's like your physical sensations from your physical and etheric bodies.
So this is, so that's really great to note, because, like she mentioned, that letter D up there. So this is what's coming through physically for me. So when, these issues that I'm having, they're actually forming in a physical way. So I might be experiencing pain within the body, or something, an imbalance within an organ or something, so that correlation is really cool to kind of pay attention to and see where the work needs to be done. This person, the present state says this person is living through other people's money. So interesting.
So just one quick question that's been asked, and it says, why is the root chakra shining in more than one color at the same time? So that is because if we see that this is her coming from her physical body, her layer 1, and that top one was, I'm sorry, can you scroll back up, Jenny? Oh. The top one, that was the throat chakra. So I don't know where he's seeing that, but it depends on what layer of the aura that this information is coming through that needs balance. So
and again, it's that they the way that it works, because you can see the 89%. So it goes by relevancy. So that's why it kind of skips around. You'll see something from the throat, you'll see something from the root, and it's skipping around because it's going by what I need to work on is the highest. So that pops up at the top, and then it kind of works its way down. So it kind of seems like it's a little bit all over the place, but that's why, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay. So.
And a very interesting, it says it's shining in the color green, and it should be red. And like I said before, green actually is the frequency of money and envy, or, whatever. So very interesting. Let's continue to see what your description and desired state says.
Okay. So the desired state, harmonization of the topics: maternal relationship, money, home, work, trust in life, security, survival, and fear, by strengthening the vibration color red in the root chakra. And here's my little mantra I can say to myself: I take care of myself, living in abundance from within myself. Okay. And the description of the desired state, that the root color is shining in the color red, and the themes of the root chakra are further anchored. There's a deeper knowledge of security and safety through the mother. The responsibility of one's own topics is integrated. The trust in life gives confidence that life is carrying you. So those are beautiful little affirmations. Let's continue.
So the next one is 85% 3, not showing up too consistently in her day-to-day. C4, so this is a mental, emotional, and it's coming from a wrong acting. And then this is her physical body. So again, this is layer 1 of your aura.
Okay. So physical body. I'm just kind of looking at this from my point of view as well, and C is mental issues. So something that's actually physically daily happening is really messing with me mentally. And again, this one is as something else about money. This person is about to stop emotional extortion through money. That's right.
Mhm.
Okay. So I will skip down to the little mantra or the affirmation, that last sentence in the desired state. It's a little bit more in bold. I don't know if you can tell. It's right here. It starts right there. It says, I am free from the influence of money. I am living in abundance. Okay.
Yeah, so when the Healy is doing this analysis, like she says that, so that light gray part, that is going to be repetitive for the chakra that it's connected to. And then the dark part is going to be what is unique and individualized just to the person that is having their aura scanned. And then that orange red color again. So, and regarding to the extortion of money, so the orange red, that's working with like your community and your spirit, so it's interesting, especially because I know Jenny very well. I can see that this is very true to her life.
Okay. Okay. More in the root chakra. Again, I've got my highest ones are coming up the root chakra, 84%. Again, it's not showing up as much. And what is that?
So the D 100,000, it's a life theme, and it's again in your physical body.
Okay. So present state, there is no joy in the pursuit of the professional activity. You guys, this is, I cannot even tell you how I just want to cry that this is so spot on right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of information, and a lot of the times we don't do these live or analysis because it does have so much information that's shared through it.
I mean, I'm very curious. I stay very curious and very open because, like I said before, we're the only ones who put anything negative or positive, it just is, it's funny to me how something can be so accurate, right? And yeah, it's really cool. It's mind-blowing, really. And I just love it.
So this is again the physical body. It's her first chakra. Yeah, thank you, Jenny, for being open and for allowing us to dive into your aura and to your field. And this color is shining in yellow and instead of the color red. And so that's it's close to the red, so it's not too far out of the color wheel. And so we spoke about yellow, and it's more with your intellect and your curiosity, and also how emotional they may be. As we're all here crying.
Okay. And then again, you can see if we go straight down to the little mantra or affirmation that it gives you here. My occupation is a source of joy and fulfillment for me. Okay. And where it says the desired state description, I'm not reading that over and over because that is the same for the root chakra. So you'll see that consistently, as we go through different imbalances within the root chakra, the information. Okay, so I'm going to move down a little bit.
So this is 83% 6, it's a little more active in her day-to-day. LM is your spiritual, and I don't know what that Roman numeral is, 8 of LM 8. This comes from wrong acting. 7? Oh, 7. Yeah. So it comes from like the wrong acting and of the spiritual mind. Oh, 12.
12. Oh, 10. Oh, I'm thinking 5.
I don't know Roman numerals.
That would be a V. Okay. Yes, Roman numerals, strong suit. Okay.
This is her third eye, and this is coming from her spiritual body. And so if we go back to the spiritual body, let me go find that page really quick. This is the our ethic template and our higher will, and it goes the one that goes about 2 to 3 feet out from the physical bodies, and it relates to the interaction of the personality and the soul and the divine will. This level is associated with trust, and when we tune in, this is the one that we can sense other people in the room with as well.
Yeah, so the present state, the person has a mental, intellectual idea of spirituality because they lack the experience of perceiving themselves as spiritual beings. It has a mental, intellectual idea of spirituality because they lack experience of perceiving themselves. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't seen that one before either. So that's really interesting. It says that my forehead chakra is shining in the color yellow, which is the solar plexus.
And another thing to remember, if you're not familiar with Healy, or if you've never done these aura analysis, and if you're doing this for people like, and they're like, well, I don't resonate with that, you know, or it's confusing to read it. And we must remember that this is a German-made device, and it is translated from German into English. So sometimes there is maybe the way the words are put out, it might be, you know, we need to fill in the lines a bit to understand it. So we remind that to people when we do these.
The language of frequencies, right? We're speaking in the language, our body speaks in the language of frequencies, as does the earth. So this is really fascinating. Are we moving on, or did I miss something?
You didn't really, I don't know if you read The Desired State. I have a holistic view of spirituality and perceive myself as a spiritual being, which the yellow was actually, that was, yeah, emotional. Okay, so we could go to the next. So the 78, 3 and C3, 3C was your mental, emotional, and it's coming again from like the wrong acting part, and the ethereal body is the what did I say? Ethereal is just the astral, right? Yeah, so that's layer 4, and this is her emotions. It's bridging the gap between the spiritual layers. It goes out the 12 inches or more, and it connects with the heart chakra. It's associated with love and acts as a bridge between the lower chakras, connecting us to our physical life and our spiritual being.
Okay. Where am I?
So this one is, so what does it say? That this person has always had to decide whether they are allowed to love the father or the mother. Therefore, they lack the experience of being allowed to love their parents as one.
Interesting.
And so this is shining in the color red violet, and it should be blue. So, you know, there's different. So like I said, so like a red violet, what would you call it? Like magenta? Is that what red violet would be to you, Jenny?
Sure.
Maybe. So like if it's magenta, like that's what I would say. You know, that is the connection to the higher dimensions. Yeah. And so, but we need to bring it back to the blue.
Yeah. I mean, there's also, if you did separate them and keep them separate, you know, and you said red violet, that could go to, you know, where I'm at in the root chakra, meaning like I'm feeling depleted or anxious or hopeless, you know. And then if you go into the crown chakra of violet, I'm feeling depressed or hopeless again, or confused, you know, or disconnected. So yeah, interesting.
The C3 means mental, emotional, and it's coming from wrong acting. That's what the chart would break it down to.
Okay. Okay, so again, if we wanted to look at my what I could say as far as an affirmation, I am experiencing to love my parents as a harmonious unit. Okay. And again, the desired description is going to be the same for the throat chakra every time. So I don't need to read that again. We've got a more throat chakra at 77%. Again, this with the 2, that's probably something that I am aware of, or that I'm working on, or, you know, it's just not affecting my day-to-day life as much.
And the LMXX1IV, I'm not going to attempt that again, is her spiritual, coming in from the spiritual and of wrong acting as well.
Okay. Okay, the person expresses themselves through eroticism or sexuality.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, some of these don't, it doesn't, I'm not sure what that means for me right now at this point in time. But again, this is something that it's just information, and this is a snapshot of if you're think of your chakras or your energy as a tornado, right? As a whirlwind constantly moving. So if you're taking a snapshot at one moment in time, it's not picking up everything. It's just kind of picking up one moment in time, and then it'll change pretty quickly, right? So I try to keep that in mind and just stay curious about the information. But my affirmation for this would be, I am expressing myself authentically through my whole inner being.
And it's funny, like, so, and the color orange is what is related to sexuality, fertility, self-expression, imagination. So it's showing exactly that's what what it means right now. So it's just so cool that it's like all this information and how it all ties together.
Yes. Okay. Lindsay says you are a beautiful, feminine, sexual being. It's a good thing. Congratulations.
There was one question from Sandra here. What does the numbers mean with the letters and how it plays out? So again, that goes back to homeopathics, and it's I don't know the answer to that, and why these numbers are this way. That is something that we'll have to do a deeper dive into to find an answer for. But thank you for asking that, Sandra. Rita, you're funny. Okay, what is your are we have one more left, Jenny? This last one here is we have a couple more. I mean, so as we see here, they're all pretty much the same. I wanted to see if there'd be something
let's do this last one. Oh no, this is good for the colors, these next two. So let's go ahead with this. So the sixth chakra, the third eye chakra that's coming up next at 71%. It's a number 3 as far as the intensity of how it's showing up on my day-to-day life. Okay, the LM, so we know that's more spiritual, emotional, and what's the 15, the XV?
Oh, it's a spiritual and still the wrong acting.
Okay, so wrong acting still. All right, so this is in my third eye, so color indigo, which I'm shining in the color white, it says. It says the present state. The person knows that they are refusing to live one or more themes of the forehead chakra, and they are showing avoidance behavior. I cannot even tell you how accurate this is right now. Oh, excuse me. I'm a mess over here. So when it shows up the color white, can you talk into that a little bit?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just pulling something else up that has a bit more information regarding these colors. It appears a bit slow at the moment. Yeah,
we have a lot of information. All of this there's so much information as Colette is pulling this up. We have so many, little guides and cheat sheets ourselves. We did a very basic, on this slide, but there's so much information to cover. So that's why we kind of wanted to keep it very basic. And then maybe our next one will be a little bit more deeper dive into the actual the Healy analysis itself. But yeah, were you able to find that little?
Yeah. So white, now very funny because it goes exactly like I said, like the same. So white is the theme of the chakra is avoided. It's up to you to identify what you are ignoring.
Okay, interesting. All right. So my mantra for this, or my affirmation, would be, so I haven't read this third eye, the desired state, harmonization of the topics, spiritual consciousness, individual consciousness, the yin and yang consciousness, roles in human life, extrasensory perception and intuition by strengthening the vibration color indigo in the forehead chakra. And I could, repeat to myself during a meditation. I live the topics of the forehead chakra full of trust. And the desired state description, the forehead chakra is shining in the forehead chakra color indigo, and the themes of the forehead chakra are further anchored. There is a deeper knowledge of the existence of consciousness and the incarnation of the spirit. The responsibility for one's own topics is integrated. Extrasensory perception lets us look behind the curtains of life that cannot be perceived with just the senses. Okay. So let's go down to the last one that comes up is 65%. This is showing up daily. Can you do the letters for me?
Yeah, the LM is mental and spiritual, and N is incoherence in lifestyle, lack of trust is what would come through. And this is her spiritual body. So the spiritual body is actually layer 5, and it governs our ethic template and our higher will. And it's the one that extends about 2 to 3 feet from the body. And it's the interaction of the personality, the soul, and the divine will.
Okay. And it says, my present state from the spiritual consciousness of the person has realized that the spiritual path is different from relationships. The person.
Okay.
And the person clearly perceives the incompleteness and the lack of the spirit.
So she's shining in the color turquoise right now, and associated turquoise is associated with the communication and inner truth. It's expansive, expressive, and it's risk-taking. It's associated with networking and travel. Also, turquoise signifies a readiness for harmony and reading, and the reading for encouragement. Love you.
This is exactly where I'm at right. I love this, like I know I look like a hot mess, and it's very emotional, but it is further grounding me in what I already know. And I think that is so wonderful for people who maybe aren't as aware, to shed a little light on some things that they might be feeling and they don't understand why or what it means. Colette and myself, we use this analysis a lot on our children as well, because they can't express themselves. So this is just such a beautiful way to get to know your children better and what's actually going on and where it's coming from. So yeah. So thank you all for allowing us to do this.
Yeah, I think that you can
see,
you could see that the information it provides and how you can utilize this to enhance yourself and your life, and to be living more whole, fulfilled lives as well. So I want to open this up for any questions at the moment. Jenny, you can start screen sharing if you'd like, unless you wanted to go back through anything else.
We will stop the share. Oh, let me just say, okay, so now what I would do after I go through this, I can come down here. If you're doing this with one of your clients, you can come down here to actions, and you can create a PDF to send to people. I'm going to come down here to vibrate right now, and I can change the transmission duration. So with the Healy, I can emanate into my bioenergetic fields, harmonizing frequencies to balance out all of these imbalances with these different chakras. So I can choose, just for time's sake, I'll do just a short blast so you can see, and then I hit the start button, and you can see it filters through, and it shows those little mantras. So, So it's really beautiful to sit here and kind of read this aloud to myself while I'm experiencing these frequencies that are harmonizing to me. So yeah, so if you're sitting, I'm so sorry. If you're, sitting at your desk or working, or if you have time, you can blast these frequencies and harmonize your field for as long as you want to. So it's pretty amazing. I love this tool. I can't express that enough. All right. So I'm going to stop my screen share.
just want to thank you all for being so sweet and kind in the chat. And so I'm just curious, is there anybody on this call right now that does not have a Healy, that is brand new, or is everyone here Healy users? Just go ahead and pop it in the chat if you don't have one. If not, then we can open it up and you guys can, I don't care if you guys want to unmute and ask any questions if you have anything to say. But yeah, so it's like we said, we just, we're really passionate about this and the information. Where are you pulling up the incorrect chakra color and interpretation details? Google. So yeah, you can, there's different websites that we've come through. There's books you can get. This great book here is only $10 at Barnes & Noble. You can also get it on Amazon. And we will also be, like I said, emailing you guys the chart with the breakdown of the colors too.
Yeah, we also have mentors within our Healy community as well that have so graciously educated us on what the analysis means pertaining to Healy and why these certain things come up. So we have, like the where we were showing you the different D, C, and M and what all of that meant. We actually have that as a little cheat sheet, if you will, which I think Colette, you stated in the beginning that we will send that out to people. And then we also have something else on the colors too that we can send out that shows, oh, if you are shining in white or even black, there's so many different things that if you're shining in a certain color and you should be, how that correlates. So this is all information that we know and love and want to pass on, that we've been taught by our mentors as well. And we're constantly educating ourselves too.
Nora, thank you so much for tuning in, and you don't have a Healy yet. And so Nora's question was, does this take away from your ability to do this yourself without the aid or an external environment? So, I mean, I didn't have an ability to understand this before. So I actually feel that when you use Healy, that it actually assists you to become more conscious and more aware and more intuitive. I've been using Healy now for almost 2 years. And my little journey story started because of pain. But I want to say about 3 months in is when I started to notice, I like to call my veil being lifted. I no longer was living life governed by my anxiety. I couldn't even be in a room with people without and be able to hold a single conversation. That's how much my anxiety was governing my life. And now I have the capability to stand with confidence, host calls like this, and I feel more intuitive of knowing what I need now. And so we just showed you the one way Healy can be used on a more of the information provided in, but like we said before, we have different frequencies that we can use on the physical, the mental. Right now I'm wearing it, so the frequencies are being sent directly to my cells. A funny thing to think of is when I first started to speak on calls like this, I would get red all the way up to here and like super flushed. And I finally found the exact frequency program that I need to use now to control that. And it's the balanced nerves program. And that's in the job category, which all works along the stress lines. So Healy is an amazing tool to use on everything and anything, because everything is energy. You can use it on your animals. You can use it on your plants. Like we said, your children, you can balance the energies within the space. You can send frequencies to your water. And we will be in the, we have everybody's email. So if you guys signed up for the Eventbrite, we have everyone's emails. We will be sending you the chart with the colors, and I will also include a link to the book. I had someone ask me for the book again. So
the replay as well will be there.
The replay. Mm-hmm.
And so Sharda asks, for the duration and frequency, do you send daily, over how many days per week? Do you suggest separately offer microcurrent 33 minutes on lowest chakra? Okay, so as far as how you could use the vibrations, there is a way when you first open the app, you can go back to the same lists So I could go back to that same analysis that we just did, and I could vibrate again. So I could do that those balancing frequencies several times throughout the day. If it's something that I'm working on that is more, chronic, and it's appearing more heavily within my day-to-day activities, then I want to do that a little bit more. And as far as the microcurrent, you said 33, are you speaking about the chakras, the chakra programs in the Pink Dot app? Because I know those only last about 33 minutes, and you can, do any of the chakras on that. Is that what you're speaking into? Because those are actually different. What we're doing with the aura scanning, is reading your information in real time, based on the energy that your body is producing from your auric field. Okay. The chakra programs that are already programmed into the Pink Dot app is what we call it. So the microcurrent app, those are actually a set frequency list that has been created and known to harmonize with specific chakras in our body. So they're within those programs, there's probably 500 or so frequencies. And that's what you're getting specifically in that, if that makes sense.
Another thing to remember, so like she's saying, they're not the same. And I can, for example, my husband and I had gotten into a situation, and I felt like, I feel like I want to rip my solar plexus out. And I scanned my chakras, didn't even come up. I'm like, it didn't even show up on the top 5 when I scanned myself. But then when I did the aura analysis, what was the top one that came up? It was my solar plexus that needed to bring balance. And so one of the other questions I saw on here is, how does one not become dependent on it? Well, my honest was, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be dependent on Healy. There's plenty of other ways you can use to balance and work with your frequencies, your crystals, right? Wearing your crystals, you can use essential oils. There's plenty of different things, meditation, all of these all work together. And so when you use Healy, I feel that, and especially on the physicalness, that's what's different and sets Healy apart from so many of the other frequency devices that are out there. And so Healy has that quantum sensor to find the exact frequencies that we need in that exact moment. If Jenny and I both chose to run a frequency program for, say, extreme stress, we wouldn't have the same frequencies being delivered to us. So our frequency programs can have up to 500 different frequencies in a program. But the first 10 minutes, the Healy's quantum sensor is finding the exact ones that we need for that moment. And then after it finds the exact ones, it's just going to oscillate back and forth until those frequencies have found its resonant match and it's closed out. Some programs can be about an hour, but sometimes they might finish early. The Healy will know when you've had enough and when you've come to balance. And then again, it won't be the same when I choose to run that program again. It's always exactly for that exact moment. So how do you not become dependent on it? It's hard not to, because it's great to feel good and it's great to understand yourself, what's going on with life. I don't necessarily, you wear or like do the scans every day anymore, because I am a bit more intuitive to what I need. And because I also, this is my life. I know the programs in and out. So I hope that kind of answer your question on becoming dependent.
Yeah, dependent, that is definitely not the word that I would use. I think it's just more, you want to use it. It's something that you just love to use because you see how well that it works on all aspects of your life. But, I don't do as many scans anymore, like Colette mentioned, because my own intuition is so much more heightened, because of, I have become so much more aware. This has opened me up to a lifestyle change, right? So, as you work with the Healy, you start to really kind of, it's almost like, it keeps you in check, like your own personal, not guide, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but to keep you in line. Does that make sense?
And then I saw something else. Oh, do we charge for, no, Jenny and I do not specifically have coaching businesses that we do one-on-one analysis for people. When we do these in large settings, it's because we're at a convention. And so we're educating and opening people's minds to what Healy is and why they need to know this information. And I forgot one more thing I was going to say. Amber says you are the healer. Now that you have this, like, you fall more in love with yourself. And I am a walking, talking testimony of Healy, of all of the things. I've herniated discs and haven't been able to walk. And within 3 weeks, my discs were totally fine. I was able to go back to the gym, never had issues. You can use it for exactly physical things, bug bites, like we say, our children. And so it's just really neat. And the reason why, this is what someone said, frequencies work faster with use. So this is why Healy was created. So there's been frequency devices out since the early 1900s. Some people have to go to a frequency therapist and they pay like sometimes I was paying $180 to get one allergy cleared at a time. But the creator of this realized that you need the use of frequencies more often to see change quicker. And so that is why we have Healy. And that's why it's suggested when you vibrate frequencies into your information field to do it on a more consistent time frame throughout the day. So they're not necessarily sending frequencies to yourself for 24 hours, but, shorter, consistent blasts, encouraging the rewiring of our information field. That's right. Consistency is key, and you have some people who have greater blockages and they need to use it more often, like Colette mentioned. So it's all about what you're working on as well. We also have, how do you send frequencies to water? Trudy asks. So we do have a way, I'll get to that in just a second, but we also have a way that we can record frequencies, so not only can you utilize what's already in the databases and vibrate that into your field, but you can actually, within that aura scan, you can go in and you can create your own frequencies that you record with the Healy for your crystals, for your tinctures, for your essential oils, whatever it is, for a feeling, if you are in a certain state of mind, you can record that into your Healy and save it as an actual frequency set for yourself in that Blue Dot app, and give yourself that. When you do Healy with water, you can simply just put the Healy right next to your water and run frequencies of whatever you choose. But coherence, I feel like, would be a good one. We have a beautiful program called Coherence, or you can actually attach the bands, the microcurrent bands that Colette's wearing, right around the glass, to infuse the frequencies into the water. So yeah, there's a couple different ways. And there's different things that you could buy that are not with Healy, but you can get copper rods that you would attach the electrodes to, and they click onto it, and you can put the copper rods right in. If you have a copper mug, copper water bottle, those are always, sorry, I got distracted by a really beautiful bird. Those are great conductors of the frequencies, correct, Jenny? That's right. Yes. And I do find overlap with the aura and the coach modules. Absolutely. You'll see some of the same, how you read the information with the letters and the numbers and that kind of thing is pretty much the same. The coach modules is just so much more in depth and more elaborate onto, your personal success. And those blockages that basically keep you from reaching your fullest potential, and how to break through your own glass ceiling is what you'll find in the coach modules. It's absolutely amazing and extremely vast. We have one more thing to share with you, and Jenny, if you want to pull up the slides one more time. So if you have not yet got a Healy, please make sure that you go back to the person that referred you, or reach out to us and through the email that we send to you in the afterwards, because you don't want to miss out. but we have something really exciting to announce to you guys. You will be the first ones to hear about this, that we as Frequency Align are hosting our first retreat next spring in March 26th through April 2nd in Punta Uva, Costa Rica. It is on the Caribbean side. Jenny, you want to say some more anything about it?
Yes, I'm super excited about this. This has been something that we have been manifesting ourselves for a very long time, and we've been putting the wheels in motion for this entire year. So here we are finally announcing this, and this is going to be a beautiful time of sacred alignment. We're using this aura workshop that we've created for you guys as a way to kind of introduce what we will be doing even more so as an immersion in this during this retreat.
So it will be 7 days filled with yoga and meditation and daily breakdowns and understandings of each chakra. So since it's 7 days, we will do a deep dive into a chakra every day. If you have a Healy, that would be great. If not, that's fine. There will be Healys there. So we'll also be having three vegan meals. Everything is included. You just got to get your airfare in. And we do have early bird prices until August 15th. And after that, they will be going up. So if you want to come and be part of this with us, we are so excited. It's actually my favorite part of Costa Rica. Jenny used to live in this part of Costa Rica. You built a house there, right?
I built a house there. I didn't live there. We went there for several months out of the year, but it is such a gorgeous place on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. It's very still jungly, still very underdeveloped, so we can do all kinds of excursions as well. It's right next to the beach, so I'm excited to take in some beautiful sunrises with some meditations. And yeah, the town, I'm sure you've heard of, Puerto Viejo, is very close by, so lots of fun things to see and do, and it's going to be an amazing experience, one you don't want to miss. So please reach out if you don't know how to get in touch with us. We are on Facebook and Instagram. We will also be sending out, we'll send this out, maybe a link as well in the replay email that we send to you.
So I want to just really thank you all again for spending your afternoon with us. I hope that it was educational and you learned something. And I thank you all for also, interacting with us in the chat. So if there's not any other questions, we might end it. Jenny, you're going to pop the screen off so we can see everyone's beautiful faces. But yes, feel free to unmute if you want to say anything. But thank you all so much for coming in.
Yes, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to share my analysis with you. Sorry, I got a little bit weepy, but it was extremely spot on. And I don't know why it caught me off guard, because I know how spot on it is. So I should have been expecting that. But yeah, it was really threw some stuff in my face, and I'm happy to share with you guys. So thank you so much for being here. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Could you answer what programs did you do for your anxiety, and do you have a regular method? Yeah, like the Bach flower remedies, those are amazing.
Yeah, for when you're vibrating the Bach flower, definitely, I like that information it provides. The Schussler salts as well. That's another vibrational data bank that we have in the Healy resonance. We have a thing called creative homeopathy that works a lot more on the psyche as well, to understand yourself. I actually ran these on my son this morning. I noticed a couple of days ago, he started to get this weird thing in his nose. And I thought that, I'm like, is there something wrong? Is it itching? And he's like, no. And he didn't realize that he was doing it. And so I was talking to a mom last night. She's like, oh, it could be anxiety. And then I freaked out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I mean, we've been traveling. We're not living on our own house right now. So it's a lot for them. And so I was able to use the Healy today to scan him to kind of see what are some of the blockages that are coming up. So those Bach flowers are great. And then for the actual microcurrent programs, there's one specifically for anxiety. Because I know my anxiety stems from a lot of my emotional blockages. There are a beautiful category in the Healy called it's called mental, isn't it? What is it called? Mental health? I don't know. And
or
Yeah, mental balance. There's a well-being one that works with actually removing the actual emotional blockages within you. So mental balance. Thank you, Sandra. But yeah, so I mean, Healy and the anxiety can be coming from anything. So Healy knows what you need. So to trust the scans that provide, even if it doesn't make sense to you. So
never going to give you anything that you don't need, only what you do. And yeah, it's super intuitive. It's like having a little practitioner right there in your pocket. Do we have any other questions?
do you type in an intent for the aura scan? You can, and you can actually go back through and change it too. It's always already done at my aura is strong and stable, but you can go in, you can remove some of the things that we see. I mean, that's a bit more a dive in-depth dive, which we can do another one of how to record the frequencies. We've done this in trainings for teams before, so we will probably build another workshop and do that for you guys as well. So thank you all so much for tuning in. It's nice to see all your faces.
Thank you. This was amazing. I think we'll end it there. So yeah, please reach out to us or connect with us. Connect back to the person who sent you again. If you do have any other questions or are interested in Healy, but please, connect with us on Instagram. We do have a frequency aligned page, as well as, Colette and I both have individual pages. We also have our own company that is biohacking with frequencies, where we take our company representing Healy to all of the different conferences around. But yeah, we will, again, she's putting in the chat, we will be sending you all the replay. If you've registered, to whoever has registered, you will get the replay, our fun little cheat sheets, and we will put a little bit more information about the retreat as well. I've had some people direct message me about that. So that will all be coming to you. So we will see you again soon. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Have a nice afternoon. Love you all.